Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leanne and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly, easy DIYs here on this channel. If you're into that kind of thing, then please stick around. Today I've got 3 quick, simple DIYs to share with you. It's also part of a fun collaboration, which I'll speak about a little bit more as we get into the video, but let's get started with the first DIY. So for this first project, I have this little container, canister, milk can type of thing from Dollar General. It was originally $5 and I'm pretty sure I paid less than $1 for it. I love Dollar General's clearance. They tend to have really, really good clearance. And then I have some scraps of some fabric that I had picked up from the Dollar Tree. And I am not perfect at this. I don't know that I'm doing this the best way, but I am measuring how much fabric I need to cut. And I'm using just a ruler and a cutting mat and a cutting tool, all from the Dollar Tree, but use whatever you have on hand. You can also just cut it with scissors, mark it with a pen or whatever, and then cut it with scissors. And we're just going to simply recover this now, and we're just only recovering part of this. Now, I got this idea from something I saw on Pinterest, and today's video is part of the Try It Tuesday challenge, which is hosted by Sammie from Unicorn Dust Designs. And the idea behind this challenge is to kind of show where you're getting your inspiration from. So I will be popping up pictures. All of mine today are from Pinterest, and I will be popping up those pictures on the screen, and best I can, I will be attaching links. However, sometimes by the time I get to using like stuff, the links are like gone or disabled. But as you can see, all I'm doing is hot gluing this around. The first time the hot glue is kind of set on the tin before I could get the fabric on it, so I ended up just putting it on the fabric. The bow ended up popping off, so I just hot glued it back on and filled it with some greenery. I'll show you that at the end. Super quick and easy. So for this next one, I'm using, this was a frame from inside of a canvas that I had previously used for a DIY. It's already painted. You could see the stuff on the back from something else that had been attached to it. We're repainting it. You could use a canvas or you could just use a frame, and I'm using some plaster by Waverly. And my plaster is almost done and it was thick, so I added water, which makes the container super lightweight. And that happened, and I spilled paint all over my floor. Let's have a moment of silence. Okay, got it cleaned up. We're painting this frame. Like I said, you could just use a regular frame or you could use a canvas itself and cut the canvas off, however you want to do that. Like I said a moment ago, this video is part of the Try It Tuesday challenge. Unicorn Dust Designs hosts this challenge every month, and if you don't know her channel, make sure you check her out. I will have her channel along with a playlist linked down in my description box for you guys to check out for lots of creative inspiration. Next, my paintbrush is a mess here because I used it to stir the paint. Okay, these are sloppy. This was also like after midnight, so some grace for me. But these are some little wooden pieces, little wooden flowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just painting 4 of them with the plaster as well. Now, here is the inspiration picture. It's a rough inspiration. Obviously, I'm doing it very different. For my piece of canvas, I'm using this canvas bag, which is from the Dollar Tree, and I'm cutting it apart. I guess it's more like burlap. Burlap, canvas. They have similar tones, similar textures, but they're definitely not the same thing. And I'm just cutting out a piece to fit at the back of my frame. I did speed this up so that you don't have to see all the things. And I decided to just hot glue it and flip the frame over, but then my hot glue gun was jamming up and causing problems. So I had to go back in and add more hot glue, and you figure out how you want to do this. But I thought the picture inspiration was really cute, and I didn't want to do this super specific for a holiday or a very specific season, but you could certainly change this up with different colors and make it, more colorful and for something more specific. So I'm going to finish gluing this burlap piece, and then we will trim it up. Now, this may have been the easier way to do it from the start, just doing little sections at a time, so maybe try that first. And then I'm just using a sharp blade to trim it off, which kind of means it like cuts into the canvas or like the back of the frame. So you might not want to do that depending on what frame you're using, but this one was kind of already butchered in the back because I've used it for a couple of DIYs. So that's what I'm doing. And then I was like, this is too see-through. So I pulled out some poster board and we're going to cut that down to size. You could also just double up your piece of fabric, or if you actually used a canvas frame, you could just flip your canvas over and use the back side of the canvas that's kind of got a little bit more of a beigey color. So just to give you ideas of how you can do it, you don't have to have exactly all of the same elements. But the poster board is making it not as see-through, but not really changing the color. It's also, I guess, maybe making it a little bit more firm, although what we're hanging is not going to be heavy. So, however you want to do that. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I love to share easy DIYs with you. We have some fun. I'm not a professional, but I like to create and I like to share it with you. So I would love it if you would consider subscribing. As you can see, some of these rose pieces were also red and pink. So if you wanted to keep them that color, this would be really cute for like a Valentine's DIY. But I, once again, wanted to go a little bit more neutral, and we're just going to hot glue them on. You could also use like a super glue gel. The hot glue does kind of provide a little bit of stringies, you know, throughout. I didn't put it all around, but it was kind of hard to avoid having little hot glue strings. But once I get everything down, we'll go over it with a hairdryer to just kind of melt those away, and it ends up being just fine. You could put a hanger on the back if you want to hang it on the wall. I'm going to kind of leave it more as just like a leaner sign, kind of like that I would put behind other things when setting up like a shelf or whatever. But I don't want to keep repeating myself, but you can do it obviously however you want to do it. And I will show you how everything looks finished at the end of the video. If you're enjoying these DIYs, I would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It helps me out so very much. And say hello in the comments. Let me know if you're stopping by from the playlist or what your favorite DIY is. Or just give a thumbs up or a smile, whatever. Those things really do help my channel out. For this next one, I know some people will have a problem with this. I am using an old hymnal. I've had some people kind of get upset with me over this. I'm not going to go into why I don't think that this is a problem. I'm not trying to disrespect it. In fact, I appreciate it, and I love the song that this was in, but hymnal is falling apart and all of that, so I'm just trying to give it new life. But you could print off some sheet music. You could use book pages. You could get some scrapbook paper, however you want to do it. But here is my inspiration picture, and I am using one of my battery-operated flameless candles, and I don't want this to be a permanent thing, so I'm not gluing anything. But you could certainly attach it with some Mod Podge or whatever. You could use a real candle if you wanted, although I wouldn't recommend. See, the candle came on. I think it was on a timer. You could use a real candle, but I don't think you would probably want to burn it with this on it. But I'm just tearing the edges to kind of give it a rough and rustic piece. And I'm using 2 pieces of it. It didn't go all the way around, but it's okay. And we're just going to tie it on with some twine. And halfway through this, I realized that the back side I had flipped over, so it wasn't the same song on both sides, if that makes sense. This is where I'm reading the words, and I'm like, this isn't the same one. So that may or may not matter to you, but I liked the song. It's Blessed Assurance, Jesus is Mine, which is a beautiful old hymn, and so I wanted the same words, or the same song on both sides. So all I'm doing is using this twine from the Dollar Tree and wrapping this around, and I do try to make sure it's not covering any words, but again, that's all just personal preference. And you could really use any paper, but I love the music notes. And then I'm just trimming down a little piece of greenery, and I'm going to tie that in a knot across the front as well. And that is it for this DIY. That's all there is to it. It's nothing complicated. A set of these would be really nice as well, which maybe I'll go back and do. I'm not sure. This would be pretty in a little lantern. Anyways, I love it. And this is how they all came out. I was very pleased with them, and I hope that you enjoy them. If you do, like I said, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Check out all my links down below. Thank you once again to Sammie for hosting this challenge, and check out her channel and the Try It Tuesday playlist. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next video.